name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants 5th edition homebrew campaign.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Spore Druid, and she is just a little bit obsessed with mushrooms.
Hi, my name's Simon. I'm playing the character of Ember. I'm a wildfire druid who's on a quest to be the very best there ever was.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I play Harry Harrington, the Harrengon, the roguish merchant with the heart of gold.
My name is Christian. I'm playing Bartholomew, the romantic dancing Owlin, Paladin of devotion.
Hi, my name is Matt, and I'll be playing Niles Silverwind, the Owlin, Way of the Sympathy Monk.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I play the character of Threign, the boisterous frost giant, the Goliath, path of the giant Barbarian.
Hello there, lovely listener. This is just a warning to let you know that this episode of Return of the Giants may contain adult language or adult themes. Hello, everybody. Hello there, and welcome back to the Lost Archives. We are here. We are playing the premier homebrew Dungeons & Dragons campaign, Return of the Giants. It is wonderful to see all of you once again. So excited to be back playing more Return of the Giants. Really cool episode in store for you tonight. We left not on a cliffhanger per se, but I think the setup of the journey as it stands. Really looking forward as you guys explore the Shattered Isles for the first time in the Lost Archives, an area that I initially wrote the information for, and I had to look this up almost 3.5 years ago, which is kind of stunning to realize that I originally wrote the stuff for this that long ago. Because there was one point in Tyranny of Dragons where it looked like you guys might head in that direction, so I did a big bit of fleshing out, and then as is the norm, you went 90 degrees in the opposite direction immediately. So we just went in that direction and carried in that way. Really excited to be jumping in with that. We've got everyone here tonight, which is super exciting. Except Jared, who I'll let you know. Trust me, I will let you know when Jared's rejoining. There'll be a whole thing of welcome back for sure. I'm trying to think if there's any other fun news to share. Just a massive thank you to those of you who've been joining me for the Wandering Village streams this week on Monday and Tuesday, 9 a.m.-ish, Australian Eastern Standard Time. I know we had a bit of a false start on the Monday where a glitch removed all of the food and we starved to death. But we had it. We had another go and it's all okay. no dramas. We got back in. Just had to do a quick restart 5 minutes in. We're doing like the challenge mode where you add in all these like hostility modifiers, and one of them was that you don't have any access to berry bushes initially, which is the only source of food. And we had 100 berries for the first however long of the research cycle. Something happened when I was building a road and a villager ate the entire stack. And so this one fat ass just completely took out any ability for us to finish or even continue, which is pretty entertaining. Whoa. So that was a funny little bug that I've discovered, which was quite entertaining. But we're still going. The Ruins update, which we've been playing through, is absolutely incredible. The artwork for the new Ruins biome is so cool. Can't wait to jump back in with that. I'll let you know when the next stream is. Probably I'm hoping it'll be tomorrow. More likely it won't be until next Monday, unfortunately, just because of some stuff that's happening outside of the streaming life. So I'll keep you guys posted when I know a little bit more about that. I don't think I've got any other crazy news to share. Anything fun? Anything interesting? Anyone got anything they want to share before we start the session? No. Awesome. I haven't updated the stream schedule, so we are starting, for some of you, half an hour late, for some of you, half an hour early. I will fix up the timeline. We are now all at the same time. The time zones have converged. We are back. Yeah, that was the only other thing I had to say. Yeah, that's it.
We are one.
We are one, but we are many.
They have time traveled.
If we were true Australians, we would break into the Australian national anthem. On Earth, except, of course, true Australians reject that as the true national anthem. And instead, we all agree that the true national anthem of Australia is by Men at Work, Land Down Under. I think we can all agree.
Oh, yeah.
That is the true Australian national anthem.
100%.
And we're not taking comments on notes on that. That's just an objective fact. Awesome. Let me do our recap. Let us jump into the session. And I will, without any further ado, get us started. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, is taking on the threat posed by the return of the Giants. Lyra, Niles, Harry, Ember, Threign, and Bartholomew have returned to the surface after an extended expedition through the Underdark, and have now headed south following recent reports of volcanic eruptions. Having recovered Bart's severed wings from the shackles of Obsidian Foot, the group have decided to track down the Flesh Sculptor in the hopes its magic can restore them. Before takeoff, though, the group decided to catch up on some well-earned sleep. Ember soon finding himself experiencing an intense and seemingly prophetic dream in which he watched flames begin to burn away his homeland, mountains erupting and spewing forth an endless stream of dark smoke and burning lava across the land. Disturbed by this vision, Ember rushed over to the Messenger Guild Tower to seek any news from his home. He bullied a Swan Aarakocra supervisor into giving him the news he feared, the eruption of a volcano off the coast near his grove, as well as a detailed map of the area. The group reunited in the crisp early morning air to meet their hired airship captain, taking them to the town of Willwood. To their surprise, however, the guild had booked a tourist airship, the last-minute nature of their trip somewhat limiting the available options. Following the ship's skipper, an air ganassi called Cumulus, to the small cloud skimmer, the team boarded the older vessel and began their journey south. Arriving at the town of Willwood, they made their way to the tavern and the flesh sculptor's lair hidden beneath. Passing through metal corridors, the group soon found themselves standing before the insect-like creature, large compound eyes reflecting the bright white light shining from above. Despite the strange appearance and mannerisms of the creature, Lyra soon had the party joining in conversation with Rozitk as they bartered over how to fund the creation of new wings for Bartholomew. During the chat, the team learned a little bit more about the creature and its kind, as well as more about the situation with Hadar, including that the Dark Hunger had previously ignored Nostea, but seemed to be moving back towards the planet since the Giants' return. While Rozitk worked on the wings, he requested the team assist him with an escaped sample down in the lower levels. Making their way to the site, the team soon found themselves locked in combat with a strange new devil-like creature and other samples released from nearby confinement cylinders. One by one, the various creatures fell before the party's brutal attacks and some friendly fire from the gelatinous cubes, the group finally overwhelming the Oni as well before throwing him back inside the containment tube. Returning to the Flesh Sculptor to report the good news, the party was surprised to find Bart's wings now almost fully grown. Lowered into the tank containing his wings, Bart soon found himself paralyzed and anesthetized while the wings were grafted onto his back. Taking the opportunity of some quiet time, Bart tried to reach out through his Heartstone to contact Satine, instead connecting with the devil known as Vice. Committing to no decisions, but now slightly more convinced by the devil's words, Bart soon stood before the party once again, resplendent with his wings restored. Heading back up with Harry and Niles, Bart was soon flying once more, lost to the abandon of his joy. Meanwhile, downstairs, Lyra and Ember chatted a little more with Rozitk to learn more about the volcanic eruptions nearby, spotting a glint of metal inside the caldera of one of the nearby volcanoes. Reuniting with the group and the airship they had commissioned, the team managed to convince Captain Luz to drop them off along the northern edge of the Shattered Isles, as close to the volcano as she was willing to go. And that is where we left off last session. We jump straight back in, with the airship traveling through much lower altitude than you took to get here. Because of the shorter distance, Cumulus or Luz seemingly unwilling to take the airship up too much higher, keeping you at a much lower altitude. Harry, you're wondering if maybe there's another reason for this, potentially not wanting to draw too much attention from the ground. I mean, if you're up really, really high, it's much easier to see. If you're down lower, less chance of being spotted, especially from above. You think there might be another reason for this, with your history with the Thieves Guild. But with the airship moving quite quickly in the afternoon sort of sunlight beginning to set behind you as the sun, beginning to set in front of you, as you head west. The afternoon sun beginning to set over the horizon. The day beginning to sort of draw to an end as you see the land underneath you drop away into ocean. The massive cliffs along the western edge of Oceania giving way to these pounding waves smashing into the side of the continent. In the distance, shadowed by the sun, you can see the start of the Shattered Isles, an archipelago stretching north and south as far as the eye can see, creating this crescent moon-like shape, bordering onto the edge of Oceania. As you make your way closer and closer, is there anything that you'd be doing, anything you'd want to talk about on the ship, or are you happy for me to jump ahead a little bit as you land?
I think if it's possible, I'm going to be trying to sort of take a bit of a short rest, like sort of get everything sort of repack the bags, make sure it's all...
This is definitely a short rest situation for sure, given it's sort of like... I mean, you also know the sun is setting as it gets towards evening. Definitely feel free to take a short rest now, but I mean, at some point, you guys have been going all day. It was a pretty early start this morning. where Luz is dropping you, you're not 100% sure how close to civilization you're going to be. You might be camping rough tonight if you choose to camp. Otherwise, if you wanted to try and push through, I guess you can try and talk about getting dropped off closer to Moldria, potentially. The tiny little village marked on your map on that little first island just off the edge of Oshia. Yeah, depending on where you end up, you could be sleeping pretty soon, getting a nice long rest.
Yeah, I mean, Harry's definitely taking a nap anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Perfect. As you find a spot on the ship, pull up some ropes to help cushion you. There's a couple of spare sails as well that haven't been unfurled. Quite soft, actually. The linen, surprisingly soft. Not as coarse as you were expecting, as you sort of get yourself comfortable. Luz is doing a similar thing. You can see she's occasionally pacing, keeping an eye out, but for the most part, she's taking it a bit easy too, having a bit of a rest. The two engineers back inside the engineering bay at the rear of the airship, no such luck. Looks like they're working overtime to keep the ship moving quickly.
As the ship is going underway, just in preparations for if we're going to be going to volcano area, heading over open seas in a thin ship, churning through these sort of like short rests of a spell slot with Channel Divinity, I am going to cast Aid once, because I'll have the ability to do that once at the moment, and then get the spell slot back. So it'll be 5 hit points, 5 maximum increase. I'll give it to myself, Harry, and Flicker.
Fair enough.
How does that work? Do I just
increase your maximum
like 10
HP?
points, or?
You could do if you can manually change your maximum HP. It should allow you to change it back. It'll keep a record.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. HP modifier. There you go.
Yeah. And that should then bump that up, so that way healing spells will still
get
out
you
at that amount.
Whereas 10 HP, once it's gone, it's gone.
And obviously, for anyone that's missing it, the 12 temporary hit points to the party, just for inspiration as we begin the journey over the sea.
Brilliant. Lyra, what are you going to say?
I was just gonna say, if it's, I can't remember quite how long the boat trip is gonna be.
2 to 3 hours.
Okay,
yeah.
Not quite long enough.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of racing the sunset at this point to try and head out over the ocean, and the direction that you're taking, because you've come from Willwood, you're kind of heading almost directly southwest of here, almost exactly southwest actually. If you're going from cardinal coordinates, it's a pretty direct flight to get you to the edge of these cliff faces, and then over across that sort of narrow strait between Mudria and Eidgard. This sort of like gap in between the map.
Well, if I can then, well, she's got a little bit of quiet sort of time. I'm gonna sort of try and reach out again with the sending stones. I can't remember if I tried them yesterday or if it was still this morning.
I think it was still this morning that you used them.
If not, then she's gonna tempt fate once again. See if and she's trying to reach Shana. If she can't reach Shana, she's trying to like call out to Barris, like just sort of see like, I just need to know that she's alive, that she didn't go down with the ship or anything like that.
Varys, huh?
Well, if Shana doesn't reply, like.
Fair.
You know the drill. Can I please have a D100? This is the cursed D100 roll that has never ever rolled anything significantly good.
Hey,
80.
We got it.
The highest roll we've ever gotten.
Highest roll we've ever gotten for one of these contacts. As you sit back, Lyra, the air whistling around the deck of the ship, the sail occasionally catching this sort of fluttering noise, it's very easy to sort of relax and close your eyes. As you fall into a bit of a stupor, letting your mind wander, you focus on Lyra. Focus on Shana, trying to picture her. Well, I guess in a way you are focusing on Lyra. She did take your body. As you focus on Shana, how she looks, how she sounds, what it's like to talk with her, sort of remembering her, picturing her in your mind. You feel this, at first, what feels like a subtle, almost like tremor in the stone in your hand. And then this vibration begins to increase in frequency a little bit. These little pulses. And as they quicken, faster and faster. You realize they feel somewhat like a heartbeat, this kind of vibrato heartbeat from this stone in your hand. And a moment later, your vision dims. Your hearing fades out. This high-pitched whine taking over everything until silence is all that is left. And as you look around you, you watch as an unfamiliar sight begins to fade into focus. Crystals rising from the ground around you. Pillars towering of the same heartstone gem that you have in your hand, but enormous. Lattice work. This strange crystal substance, almost organic looking as it takes over, stretching as far as your eyes can see. And as you spin looking around, you see yourself reflected in these infinite facets of these crystal faces. And then all of a sudden you spy one reflection that doesn't look like the others. A serpentine tail, bluish green scales, and silvery hair. You see Shana reflected in one of these crystal faces, and as you begin to step towards her, you see she is... Currently it looks like she is fighting. You can see her moving rapidly, magic swirling around her hands as she casts these blasts, these beams of energy. She recognizes Eldritch Blast, you've seen her do it before. Casting these beams of energy at an unknown assailant. All you can see is her. What do? You see her reflection.
I'm torn, because like on one hand, definitely want to like sort of say like, you know, like a, hey, you're good, but I don't want to sort of distract or anything. Like, I'm not sure if it's possible to just leave her with like sort of like a low feeling kind of thing, but just the sense of, hey, you should call me back on the sending stone. Like,
do you want to make me
the sending stone?
Yeah. Do you want to make me an Arcana or I'm going to say Arcana or Nature check in this case? We're kind of falling into Arcana or Nature. I've got a good feeling about this. I was very wrong. 11. Lyra, you got no fucking clue what this magic is. You know where this place is, you know what this magic is. But as you're focusing on Shana, trying to sort of think about how to send this message, as you get closer, you can see that reflection of her getting stronger and stronger, clearer and clearer, until it almost looks like you're looking through a pane of glass. She's just there on the other side. You can see her moving and wheeling. But she's not alone. At first, this figure was almost impossible to see. But through the lens of this crystal, you can see what looks like an elf-like figure. Dark purplish blue skin, long dark hair that fades away into this almost like nebula of stars floating above her. Every time she casts her magic, you watch as first this figure summons that same energy in his hands, and then a stream of it travels down to Shana before she fires it off. And as you get closer, you watch as the figure turns, its eyes go wide, these pits of starlight, as you see Varys hovering above her.
Half expecting, I've completely forgotten his name, it's complete blank, but Jared's astral elf, the
Crassus.
Oh, Crassus.
Yeah.
So
like,
Varys in this, the few times you've seen Varys, he's taken on a number of different appearances, but the one he most commonly reverts to is, a very astral elf looking figure. Very astral elf looking. And that's how Shana first knew him as well. This, very delicate, lithe elven figure, starlight through his hair, through his clothing, and even his skin marked with freckles of what looks like starlight and nebula. Yeah.
Okay, if it's only sort of Varys that sort of noticed, again, still not wanting to sort of distract too much, like from the fight, but just to sort of try and get a message across. I'm not sure if he can even hear me or anything, but like it's just sort of like point at him, point at Shire, and then just like call me back. Like
hold up the sending stone and like wave it around. Yeah.
Just gesturing like.
You watch
But yeah,
as you do
like,
these actions, you watch as Varys nods, you watch as Varys holds up a finger for like 1, looks down at Shana as she summons another beam of energy, and then updates it to 10 as he looks at you.
Yeah, whenever. No, she's alive, like, but yeah, that's just sort of the main worry, just sort of temporarily quelled.
You watch as Varys nods, and then uncharacteristically immediately turns his attention back to Shana, summoning a much larger cluster of energy in his hands. This collection of what almost looks like cosmic dust, this swirl of light and color. And as he passes it over towards her, you watch as Shana surrounds herself in this spiral of glowing stardust that begins to reach out from her. You can't see what it's doing, but you can see that whatever this spell is, it is draining Shana rapidly. It is using a lot of her energies. You see that glow around her beginning to slowly diffuse, and Varys fading as well, the more she uses whatever this spell is.
Whoa.
Do I get the sense that I might be able to donate some spell slots? Like, send some sort of energy through the crystal or sort of through the connection to preferably Shana, but either of them if it sort of comes down to it. Like,
with your Arcana check of 11, you have no idea what this place is, how this works, but you can see Varys is giving energy to Shana, but that's kind of how their pact works, right? As a warlock. You're not sure what role you could play in this, but you could certainly try.
I think she's gonna try. Like, just sort of
place your hand upon the crystal, concentrate the magical energy. Yeah. As soon as you place your hand upon that crystal surface, you begin to hear sound once more. You can hear Shana occasionally sort of, I don't want to say grunting, but like occasional little like groans as she's like trying to like maintain this spell. And you can now hear Varys speaking to her. You could see his mouth moving occasionally, but you couldn't hear what he was saying. Now suddenly you can, as soon as you place your hand upon the surface. You hear Varys, Shana, I can't keep this up forever. You're going to need to get away from here. Yeah, I don't have enough energy for another dimensional door, Varys. If you could help me out with that, maybe we could do something different. I must say, this isn't looking very good. Perhaps we could... And it's at this moment you push through the energy. Send
her through my last 4th level spell slot. Like, don't know what level Dimension Door is, but...
It's a 4th level spell. As you pass through... It's pretty good.
Oh.
As you focus, this line of light begins to pass down your fingers and your hands. You watch as it streams away from you, not traveling through Varys, traveling straight through to Shana. And as soon as it does, you watch as she pauses, turns, looks and goes, Lyra? And as her eyes meet yours, you watch as her eyes go wide. You see her, this surprise on her face as Varys goes, you can't be distracted now, please, Shana. At that moment, you see a spear go through Varys. This massive metallic thing goes straight through his chest. There's a sound, almost like glass scratching and breaking, and you watch as Varys, eyes wide, looks down, goes, oh shit. And then bursts into tiny motes of light.
Oh, I was gonna say, was the time between the first spell and the second more than 6 seconds?
You passing through the 4th level spell?
Yeah, because if I can, I'll send... It's not much, but like... See if I can maybe send a 3rd level like healing word, maybe if I think it's close enough. Maybe a 3rd level cure wounds, like just a... Oh no, please don't die.
This is all kind of happening at the same time as you're passing through this spell energy. Unfortunately, Varys, the spear goes through him, and as you sort of realize and go to cast the spell, that is when he says, oh shit, and bursts into motes of light.
Whoa.
The second he does so, you watch as Shana turns horrified, clicks her fingers, and vanishes from the surface of the crystal.
Out of game real quick.
Hello.
Do we know where Shana was on assignment?
Not really.
Okay.
Somewhere within a 2-week flight of the Underdark tunnel entrance that we were.
Yes, but with the inclusion of dimensional doors, she could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Dimensional door's not too. She can't go too far with that.
It's what, 500 feet?
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those ones. Yeah.
It's
okay.
not. It's not like planar travel. It's
But
500
taking
feet.
a look at Nostea,
Yeah.
distance-wise, 2 weeks in any direction is pretty fucking far.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But we do know it's if the ship went down, it's probably somewhere within range of a giant settlement, because we know that, or we can guess that the ship was probably taken out by the anti-airship giant tech, is what I'm thinking at least. So, but yeah, I think with a bit of a odd feeling of like, yay, she's alive. Oh no, I may have just made things worse, kind of thing.
As the surface
Just
of
be
the
like-
crystal goes dark once more, you see it fade out, take on the same reflective surface as the others. Your own image, dull and distorted in the surface of this crystal as it fades away, the light disappearing. And as it does so, you have a bit of a look around. You can see that what you're standing on is almost like an island of these crystal clusters emerging from a sea of this very reflective metallic kind of liquid, a little bit like mercury. This gently undulating, metallic, reflective mirror-like surface liquid. The crystal's growing from it and emerging. And as you look around, you can see there are other islands near you, islands of crystal. There are 4 of them around you, to be exact.
With the Islands of Crystal, is it sort of more similar to like that same sort of crystalline genasi that we sort of saw, or maybe similar to Griswold's hand crystal towers, like that kind of crystal?
The crystals look almost exactly like the Heartstones, these sort of chromatic-like appearances. And you've seen the Heartstones will take on these kind of different colors in different lights. Harry's does tend more towards the green spectrum, but your crystals will take on these kind of different colorations. Yeah, like chromatic. You know how like that kind of really polished chitin can give those kind of oranges and greens and purples. Imagine that kind of color, these like deep blue crystals with this chromatic, oil-like reflective surface of color. That is what these look like. Yeah, a little bit.
Opaline?
Yeah, very opalescent. Yeah. That's these crystals. These crystals look like they are the same crystal as the Heartstones. Exactly the same.
Sending just vibes of well wishes and oh fuck. Yeah, I think she might just sort of slowly like see if if there's anything else, but otherwise try and sort of come back and sort of share it with the group.
As soon as you have the thought of leaving, your vision begins to tunnel once again, the sound fading out, and you awaken, seated where you were. For the rest of you, it just looked like Lyra was like meditating, maybe taking a moment to just pause and reflect. Definitely no signs of like discomfort or movement. She just looked at peace while she was in this moment.
Well, I can definitely confirm that you can kind of semi-communicate with the stones with someone that doesn't have one.
Oh, what did you do, Lyra? Did
I
you talk
may-
to some other entity that we should be aware of? Or did you actually... Are you saying that you succeeded?
Sort of. I succeeded in confirming that she was alive.
Oh,
And you can send magic. You can definitely send magic, which was pretty sweet.
for
As
Shauna.
needed. Yeah. She's in the bit of a fight.
Oh,
May have distracted her patron a little bit too much, and he took a spear to the chest. I'm not sure how he's doing.
oh
I
shit.
hope he's well.
You didn't get a good idea of where they were or who they were fighting?
No idea who they're fighting, but it did seem somewhat related to the handstone. I mean, with the the very specific sort of crystals and whatnot. But I don't know.
Patron, like a deity? This was that one you were telling me about that's a bit like odd, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it's sort of like that moment. It was like, not sure if it's counted as like speaking ill of like the gods, speaking ill of the dead, but like, I don't really know what he is. I mean, he's strong enough to be able to be a magical patron to a few people that I know now, but
Oh.
also maybe possible to die, so maybe not a god. I don't know.
Okay.
How common knowledge is it that like Shana and Varys were like kind of, Varys is around, not really known?
No, Varys's name outside of the Tempest Guild, not very well known at all. Certainly not something that people would know. I mean, the story is that Shana has these sorceress powers. Doesn't really go into any more detail than that.
Okay.
As a person who's followed the exploits of the Tempest Guild closely, though, Niles, do you want to make me a history check?
Yeah.
Harry just thought they were a couple.
Yeah, it's a pretty fair question. Pretty fair assumption.
Especially with how Lyra sort of reacts to him as like
Exactly.
partner that came in like
brother-in-law.
still best friend.
Niles has no
Niles,
fucking idea.
No fucking clue, yeah.
Doesn't ring a bell at all.
Okay, well, from what you explained, that spear, did you get a look at it at all? If this thing can pierce a god?
Silvery in color. I mean, not to mention, they were whatever, who, what, where they were sort of fighting. Shana's no lightweight when it comes to combat. Last I saw, she was sort of nearly maxing out in the magical ability sort of department. But
You said that there might be one silver lining. Do you know if she has magic from anything else other than Varys?
oh yeah, no, she's a legitimately sort of quite a decent sorcerer in her own right.
Shit, never mind.
Yeah.
I was going to say that obviously if she teleported away, that means that he's still alive because his magic's still powering her. But if she has other options...
Well, I do remember hearing Dimension Door, and I'm not exactly sure whereabouts that spell falls, if it's a sorcery kind of base power, or if it's, leans more warlocky patron kind of power, but, if Dimension Door's a warlock-based power, then maybe he's all right.
Hopefully.
I don't know much about patrons and deities, aside from what I know from the theocracy, but it seems like this being, this fellow, seems rather strong. Perhaps it's just a manifestation of their power to help in the moment, and maybe their real body is elsewhere. Deities are weird like that.
I'm gonna go with that.
Well, you remember, Lyra, that one of the main things Varys wanted was to come
he was shadows,
physically into Nostea. That was sort of his main thing, and he didn't get that wish. He had to kind of sacrifice that plan to help you guys prevent Tiamat coming through.
But then also taking a lot of Tiamat in the process.
Yeah, he was taking on Tiamat's power to take her place, so that when the cultists tried to summon, he had enough of her essence that he could kind of slip through the cracks and get through in her place. But then when you guys brought the giants back instead, in that moment he was going to try and push his way through as well, but he had to take a bit of a back seat as a result of your choices and actions during that campaign. So he's not able to manifest physically in Nostea as far as you're aware. He shouldn't be. That was the... Yeah.
Ooh,
but I'm not sure how much of that Shana would have told Lyra.
That's a good question,
or even
too.
Above board, if that was even happening on Nostea.
Exactly, right. Yep.
Well, I just had the thought, the only conflict that we know of that is happening, aside from, obviously there could be fights anywhere, there's obviously the front in Balmir, which is unexplored at this point, but relevant to this campaign is the Avernus conflict in the Hells. And, Varys was very closely tied with Tiamat and getting dragon power, so maybe he still wants his place at the table. Anyway, Niles doesn't know that. It's just Matt going like, ooh.
Speculation.
If you don't have a good poker face like me as a DM, my pro tip is just to react to everything. And then no one knows. It's the same as having a good poker face. Just don't always have a bad one.
Yeah, I don't know how close you don't seem to talk about too many people, obviously being however old with your new body. Are you okay? Sounds like you don't blame yourself, do you?
Blame myself for what? Okay, the whole Varys thing, maybe. maybe, but as long as Shauna made it out of there fine, I mean, she's kind of, other than people at the guild, I mean, she's kind of the only personal family that I've kind of got left. But hey, I know that she's alive at this point, and she can mostly take care of herself. I hope.
Okay.
And then just sort of in an instant sort of like just trying to deflect, like she's either going to be sort of like going to like bark, like either like, oh, have you sort of heard from any, like, when you were sort of like, how's the wings, or like sort of Ember, like, hey, okay, so like what's the plan for like getting,
You just between like 3 different conversations.
Yep, like it's just
How the wings? How are we saving people? What's going on? What's happening? How are you dealing?
Ember, while you're up on the deck of the ship, could I get a perception or investigation check, your choice?
You sure can.
Do that mean it's not your fault, Lyra? It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Other than distracting him, and then he looked away and goes, "Oh, look, where this magic suddenly come from," and then bam, spear through the chest.
15, Ember, on the perception. As the others are having this conversation, Lyra is talking about some god stuff. Bart's trying to comfort her. Misplaced, it seems. She's fine. As you're focusing over the edge of the ship, your eyes turn southward, scanning the horizon for signs of any danger to your homeland, which you know is now on the continent you've just left behind, or signs of what's to come, the volcano that you are currently making your way towards. And as you focus, the light shining down from that sun now sinking very low upon the horizon, you can see the cloud of ash and smoke clearly now rising from that island off towards the south. Despite the distance, you are quite far away from this. You can't see the island itself, but the amount of ash and smoke in the sky is startling from here. It looks like an enormous inverted mountain. This billowing pillar rising up as it gets to the higher atmosphere and then spreading out to form this almost like stretch of storm clouds. And for some reason, you're not sure what it is about these clouds of ash and smoke, but you can see little flashes of lightning occasionally in them too. Very similar to dark storm clouds, even though you know these aren't clouds of rain. These are ash clouds rising high up into the sky. And as the ship begins to cross over the edge of the cliffs, behind you these stunning cliffs of different striated colors. Looks like these cliffs are made of like some sort of sandstone, but the different layers of the stone all have different colorations, giving this kind of rainbow-like appearance to this sandstone cliff face. These billowing, very organic looking lines and swirls of color as you pass over the rainbow cliffs of Idgard. Ash begins to fall from the sky. A few flakes at first, then more and more, as you realize the wind is blowing from the south. All of this ash, all of this smoke is blowing towards you. And as the flakes of ash begin to fall, very similar to snow, as you catch one in your hand, you can see these burning embers, still hot in some places, starting to rain down from the sky.
Would I think that it'd affect the airship or anything like that? Or
the sails on the side made of waxed linen, you suspect probably don't go well with tiny smoldering embers of ash. They're not hot enough that they're going to instantly ignite anything, but it is a danger that you are going to have to consider. If any of these were to... Because at the moment, this is just very light ash falling now that has cooled somewhat. But as you get closer, you start to understand why Luz might have wanted to keep away from the volcano. If you were any closer, these could be imaginably quite hot indeed, raining down.
Okay. I might approach the captain, if that's the case, while these guys are chatting about that, and just discuss with them, be like, are you noticing these embers in the sky as well? Are we going to make it to our destination from here?
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on them. I haven't got great hopes. We're still so far away. I thought we'd be well clear of the ash field by now, but I think we'll be all right. This stuff looks pretty cool for the most part. I keep an eye on the wings. If you could do the same, if you keep an eye on the sail on the left, I'll keep an eye on the sail on the right. Together we'll get this all sorted. We'll keep an eye on it, make sure it's okay. But yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a drop and dash if that's all right. I don't think we want to stick around. especially if that wind picks up.
Oh, I mean, let me know what you need, because I would like to get as close as we can, as quickly as we can. If we need to go around or avoid the winds, then so be it.
Look, at the moment we're heading for Mudria. It's a little outpost on that smaller island that we were looking at the maps before, right? This is the shortest crossing. The peninsula of Idgard's behind us. We're maybe another 20-30 minutes. If you look, it's hard to see with the sun setting, but directly ahead of us, that tiny little island there, that's Mudria. We're going to drop you off there. There's a small fishing outpost there. You can get a boat. You can. I think there's a ferry that runs between there and the mainland. Well, I say mainland, the larger area of the Shattered Isles. Get passage that way, but we can't stick around, and I can't get any closer to this thing. I'm already closer than I'd like to be, given that we've got Ashfall this far out.
Okay, well, if you could make it round after your trip here. I mean, we'd like to be able to call you to get us back off the island, but if you don't mind visiting my hometown potentially to see if there's anyone that needs any help there to get them further away, that would be appreciated.
Where's your hometown?
So I'll point off to the east, and would there be, because this is something I was going to say as well, like obviously there's a lot of smoke and everything in the air from that. Would I see any kind of glowing potentially from the distance? Because I imagine that they would be constantly in light. They obviously have fire, they have their other wildfire spirits and things like that. Would there be any kind of glow or sign, or could I see anything from a distance?
You're a couple of 100 k's away. With the sun setting,
like a spot. That's all.
With the sun setting, it's going to be hard to see any glow of orange or red light, given that the whole of this coastline is now bathed in orange-red light from the sun setting. When night falls, though, yeah, you might be able to point it out. But you also know it's near, it's near Lost Alley. So, I mean, you've got it.
We have a map.
Yeah, you've got it on the map. You know it's near Lost Alley, the Ember Grove. What do you call it? The Ash Grove? Sorry, the Ash Grove. Yeah.
So I'd point it out and be like, this is where they are. I mean, if you can just get, it's not a large group of people, but if you can get some of them away, not so much the Firbolgs, because they will be quite good around the fire, but some of the other creatures and people that we have part of our clan, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, all right. I feel bad I can't drop you closer to the volcano and that we can't work as a rescue craft. I'm happy to stay over Oshia if we're over solid land, over the continent. I'm comfortable with that. It's just down near Lost Alley. Yeah, I'm happy to go there. You guys have, yeah, I'm happy to do that. And if there's anyone there, I'll bring him back at Oxenfurt. If we came back and we sort of stalled out near Idgard, I mean, if you get access to a boat or something, I can pick you up from Idgard, or if you can get a way to get a message to us, we can come and pick you up from Mudria. Or if the volcano's subsided, the ashes stop falling, we can come get you from much closer.
So thinking of that, I've got the map that the Messenger Guild gave me.
Yes.
They did mark down locations where they had people that were watching and observing from.
Yep.
Are there any in Mudria or like Heatmeave or anything like that nearby?
There is indeed it's marked on the map as a what would they? The specific wording would be like a Watcher's Outpost. There is a Watcher's Outpost at Dogmeakin, right in the very heart of the Shattered Isles in this kind of collection here, just just southwest of the volcano's eruption point, south of Heatmeave.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any on the main land near Idengard or anything like
there's
that?
loads. The closest one to Idgard. Oh, there is one in Idgard. Sorry, there is one in Idgard. But there is one in Idgard. The closest one to your Ashgrove, probably be Bonemead. Bonemead, sorry.
I'll reiterate that to the governor. I'll be like, look, I have some access to the Messenger Guild. I should be able to send a message that way, and they can potentially fly ahead and let you know where to meet us if we need assistance.
I'm happy with that. We'll get everyone we can. Get them to Idgard. We'll wait at Idgard for you. All right. I won't leave until I know either that you're safe, or if I haven't heard from you for 3 days. That's the fairest I can do. Then we've got to get moving.
It's fair.
I'll walk over. How many days can this add on? And I'll put a small pouch of 50 gold pieces.
I can add on 2 more days, but I'm gonna get in trouble for this. Just gold's great. I'll take it. She tucks it away immediately. I love gold. Fucking love gold. But yeah, this like, I can't do it any longer than that. You could put more gold on the table if you like. I'll take it, but I can't do anything more about it. 5 days is the most I can wait. All right.
That's understandable.
That's all I can do. You're gonna have to find your own way back after that point. Yeah. Your friend, the Harrengon, Harry. He merchant. There's access he can get as a merchant. Like there's paths he can take if he needs, right? You know, Harry, like when stuff needs to be moved quickly, there's contacts you can get in contact with, yeah?
Is he actually talking to me? Because Harry's napping. Right,
Cumulus will see you're napping and not call out to you. She'll immediately like go, oh fuck, sleep. All right, yeah, no. But yeah, your friend Harry, he's well connected, right? He similar guilds, he and I. We yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that when I rolled to do a check against Harry, I rolled like a 1 or 2 or something like that. So I believe everything about Harry being a merchant. So at this point in time, I'd be like, oh, the merchants guilds? I mean...
Yeah, the Oxenfurt Merchants Guild. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they would have any kind of hidden pathways out, but I think Harry knows about them.
There's one thing merchants like, yeah? And it's I mean, I just expressed my love of it. It's fucking gold. You need to make sure that you've got a way to make sure your gold is safe. Priority number 1. So there's always ways to get goods out, get people out. Valuable assets, people. Merchant Guild takes care of their own.
She's right, you know. The Silverwinds have such channels in the theocracy. We use them all the time.
There you go.
Oh. Okay, if you can get people in and out, that sounds great. We'll maybe get Harry to help out. I didn't know he traded in transporting people, but
I don't think he trades in transporting people, but like, look, he's a Harrengon. He's going to have a bolt hole, right? Like, I'm not being racist. Not being racist.
That hard, I remember.
Yeah. It's just
That's right.
Just something to keep in mind, right? Every Harrengon I've ever met always has a plan of escape. I don't think he'd be any different. Yeah. And look, worst case scenario, just get yourself southeast to the elemental states. Get yourself to Dromethil. The Ganassi, like, I mean, look, maybe I'm a bit biased. I'm a Ganassi. We've got some pretty fucking sick magitech, all right? Like, what we're doing, what our artificers are doing with transport. I mean, we're going to revolutionize airship transport in the next couple of years. Whole new stuff happening down there. Get yourself there. Get yourself onto a fast speeder. Get back to Oxenfurt easy. Or teleportation circles.
How much do you know about Dromethion in the States there? You familiar with what's going on there at the moment?
Oh, I mean, I haven't been there for a couple of years. Probably 3 years since I was last there, but I mean, it's whenever I needed an upgrade, whenever I need to do something to the ship, I make sure I get my parts from there. Oh. I mean, our new lift cortex is from Dromethion, the bit that allows us to rise and fall.
Oh, it's nothing. I just we come across some Ganassi in our travels that were a bit strange.
I see.
Bit strange. I mean, you do occasionally get, like, I don't know what they call them. I don't know what the technical term is, but like amongst the Ganassi, we call them Rukten Ganassi. Ones that are like more like elemental variants, I guess is the best translation I can think of. Culty?
Yeah, these ones are a bit more, culty.
I'm not talking about, I don't know about culty stuff. I mean like a fire Ganassi who takes on more of the element of lava than fire, or like an air Ganassi who like takes on more of like a wind kind of thing. Like they're Rukten Ganassi, but
or
elemental
like a rock
variants
Ganassi who has crystalline structures.
I've not seen a crystalline Ganassi before, but it's possible. I mean, there was a Ganassi in my class back when I was in early days in the college. It's like the equivalent you guys do is like, I guess, like first school or whatever you call it. Who was like more metallic, much more like earthen, but with like veins of like metal running through them. It's just like elemental variants. Rukten Ganassi. Well, look, my mum's she's a Rukten Ganassi, a very minor one. She's like water Ganassi, but she's got some like ice-like elements. It's not as rare as like. It depends on like the level of expression, but like it's not as rare as people think. They're seen as like deeper connected to the planes of our home, right? Because obviously we're all from the elemental planes. We're all pulled here by the ruin. What happened with the experiments, right? Like, yeah.
experiments?
I was gonna say, like, the experiments.
Yeah.
What do you mean experiments?
Well, I mean, the Ganassi were all like, I think this was like, it was after the ruin, after what you guys call the ruin, but like there was a group trying to activate giant tech and it like exploded and it pulled through all the Ganassi that are here now. Like we're all descendants of Ganassi who were like pulled through from the elemental planes. They were like changed by the energy.
Oh, giant tech that existed in your.
No, it was here. You guys pulled us here. It was all stuff happening here.
It was originally in the elemental states.
I mean, there was no elemental state. That was all just part of Oshia. It was sort of created to give the Ganassi a home. Those people who've been affected by the elemental magic.
I see.
We know that it's been a couple centuries since all the races were pulled here, right?
Yeah. This one's a bit different than what you've heard, though. This is a bit of a different story.
Fact
More
for
recent.
you, or is this creation myth for your people?
This is fact. I mean, it's pretty well recorded. The elves, I mean, the patch of land that was there at the time was all like farmland and stuff like that. Like it's a well-known thing. Like you guys should know this. This isn't like a crazy thing that I'm sharing.
Different beliefs for different areas.
Been asleep for a while, been underground for a while.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Do you know whereabouts the experiment was by any chance? Like, the gate
like
that
the
exploded?
place that it was, the city that was destroyed.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. Like that place. I mean, Dromethian's built in the crater that was once this. I don't know if it was a city or like a yeah.
Oh.
And the people that were researching, do you know?
Oh,
who they were?
I mean, they were vaporized along with the city, so I don't think anyone really knows too much about them. They were. I remember learning this in like college vaguely. It was something they were trying to access the planes, right? They're trying to access the elemental planes. I don't know if it was for like energy or like get planar transport working. I don't know, but like it was a group of mages, I think, or artificers. They were Ocean. They were definitely Ocean. I know they were from Ocean, and they were working for like the old Ocean. I mean, I know we still call it the Ocean Empire, but it's not anymore, right? But when it was the Ocean Empire, when it was ruled over by the Emperor and the Empress, I think it was all done in their name. It was all like a sort of hush-hush kind of thing, yeah?
Oh. Well, like I said, my histories, the Eris histories, and Niles has like this flashback to like what he learnt of the Eris history and how they came to Nostea.
Yeah.
And Niles just goes, it's a little bit more nuanced.
Yeah. I do have to clarify something. I started down saying something about them being pulled through. That is, sorry, completely retcon that. She never says that.
Oh, okay.
It was the elemental magic infused the people of that nearby area. Everyone within range of this explosion was infused with elemental energy and became Ganassi immediately. Like it kind of, and a lot of people didn't survive. A lot of people, the process of this either drowned them, burned them, turned them to stone, or just evaporated them into air. Like those that were too close. Imagine almost like radiation doing this to them, mutating them from this central point. And whatever this place was, this research thing was, it was just a crater afterwards.
Yep.
I want to say this was a long time ago.
This was right after the ruin.
During Tyranny.
Yeah. You guys did touch on this a
little
little
bit.
bit.
We went to Dromethian and we touched on we went to some sort of like semi-ruins or something that'd been turned into like a marketplace or something.
You went to Dromethion, which is the city in the crater, and the outer level of that crater is this these ruins of this once beautiful city where this research took place, and that's where the markets were, where you traveled through. Yeah, 100%. These like massive marble pillars. That's where you first met the flesh sculptor.
After Noonian / Chiari. Oh, so that was after Chiari. And
Chiari. I think the Dromethion was like one of the very last places we went to, because I think that's when Yervith picked up his Ember shard bow and the 3 dragons playing arrows.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's where you got Lyra back. That's where you found.
That's right.
And the flesh sculptor originally was in he was in a town just outside of Dromethion, one of the towns nearby. But yeah, I mean, what she's saying, you would all know very you would know at least in broad strokes a little bit of it to varying degrees for each of you. But yeah, you know that. For some of you, you thought it was during the ruin, like at the end of the ruin, right after. It's hard to sort of pin down because this thing's kind of it's not taught specifically as like this is what happened. You kind of pick it up as like we pick up events in our history and we don't quite know exactly when they occur sometimes. Like if it's just like general knowledge history, you know, like vaguely the medieval period was like during this range of dates, but if you unless you're a person who specifically studied it, you're like, nah, sometime in like the 12th century. Like you don't really know for sure.
The olden days.
Yeah, the olden days, ye oldie days.
Is my mental link still open with Bart?
I believe it stays open until you close it, so yes.
As we're talking about Dromethion, the state, like the Dromethion, like the elemental states, Niles will just sort of relay back to Bart, because I don't know if Bart actually knows this. I believe there could be a giant node at Dromethion. The archivist mentioned that early on.
Well remembered. That.
Okay. So, that if that's the case, that falls similar to our theories for that black floating city.
Possible.
But if we can approach Drometheon's one at some point in the future, that could be a way for us to, I don't know, verify the theory, at least get some information. If that's what's in Necros? I'm forgetting the name at the top of my head. Noctis. If that's what's in Noctis, maybe this is a way for us to study a stable version of a giant node of some kind.
There is also another in Palin, to my knowledge, as well. So we could go to either one.
It's definitely something to do with some spare time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the sky cities are Solaris, Eris, Volus, and Nocturnus or Noctis. Because it's not settled, the name kind of changes a little bit for that one, depending on where you are, Nocturnus or Noctis. But yeah, the main ones that you guys would know of: Eris, the one that is downed and has become the home of the Eris theocracy. Solaris and Volus are the two that fly around these two.
On the map. Sorry. I was just going to ask, on the map, where is Eris?
So Eris is down underneath the elemental states. I'll ping it on the map for you, but it's this tiny outcropping in the ocean just south of Dromethion, in the elemental states. Yeah.
We're so close. Okay.
So close. You are not far away from the Eris theocracy at all.
Holy moly. Okay. That's crazy.
I might update the map a little bit and actually mark off Eris as its own location. I might move a little bit further out to ocean, but yeah, that's where it is at the moment. Yeah, because originally, because like when I first came up with Eris and the whole stuff there, we've kind of changed things a little bit as we've explored the Aarakocra and the Owlin history. So I will actually do a slight edit of this map, and I'll do a slightly more up-to-date version that fills in some of the blanks that we've had for a bit now.
It would also make more sense that we might know a little bit more about Dromethion than maybe just being so close, like geographically.
Yeah, for sure.
I see. Okay.
I was going to ask. Sorry.
I was just going to say Bart's going to do stuff like when we're about halfway on the trip, when obviously things have probably died down. But until we get to that point, yeah.
Oh, you guys are well past that point. You're like 30 minutes away from landing.
Oh.
Never mind.
That's when, as you cross that strait, that's when Ember sees the ash fall. So yeah,
right.
and I mean, you called it, Ali, volcanic lightning, because of that huge amount of friction from the ash, the pumice, combined in the atmosphere, you get this very intense lightning. It can sometimes have a much more purple kind of hue to it, depending on how much friction there is. Volcanic lightning is super dangerous. Yeah.
And then of the two sort of surviving floating cities, which was the one that we found Lockie and Lyra on originally?
Not one of the floating cities. That was a sky castle that people hadn't really known about.
Flying.
Yeah, it was. So rather than the sky cities, which are huge, the sky castle was much smaller. I mean, it was big. It was still a giant, a cloud giant's castle. But this is one that people didn't know about, as far as you're aware. It's not one of the named ones that people have settled on. So Volus is the one that the astral elves live on. Its orbit is super high up. Like you need breathing apparatus to be there if you're not an astral elf, and to get there, it's not just a normal airship that can get you there. You need to. It's very difficult to get there. You're right high up in the atmosphere. The one that kind of flies over most of the world is Solaris. It's the largest one. Circles most of the top half of Oceania down towards Balmia, and it's kind of like a big trading hub. So Niles, you would know that the Silverwind family, Titus in particular spends most of his time now on Solaris.
Mm-hmm.
It's the heart of the Silverwind family power nowadays. They've moved a lot of their stuff up to Solaris because it travels. It's so much easier to transport goods, right? It's a massive city, almost as big as Oxenfurt, that flies on the air currents. A consistent journey that it takes and orbits. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's actually Isabel of the Silverwind clan that does most of the formalities.
Perfect. Then Isabel, that would be where she's set up. Titus is much more in the background, right? Power behind the curtain style.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
And sorry, just one last one is whereabouts was that sky castle? Like it was near Paladin or something, wasn't it? Or...
You guys crashed it. You actually crashed that sky castle. You crashed it down. I believe it was I think it was near Sleet Hull, wasn't it? It was like near that ocean bay. I think it was near Sleet Hull. I'll have to double check, but you guys crashed that down as a result of what happened aboard the yeah. You crashed it into the because then that's right. Then you travel by river down towards Paladin. So yes, it was definitely Sleet Hall because that's when you took the riverboat.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking maybe there's like still some power cores or something that we can use that might be.
It's in this moment, Lyra, you realize that was like 3 months ago, and like scavengers have had 3 months to go over this in your absence.
Yeah.
The reason that sticks to my mind because I've always wanted to do like a riverboat sequence ever since Del Toro Quest. This is really going. You know the whole I've always thought that was such a cool sequence in Del Toro Quest. So I did like a whole little bit inspired by that with Journey of Dragons. It was really cool.
Can I just say, Del Toro Quest, fantastic,
absolutely perfect. And
so
the author hasn't turned out to be a massive bigot. So like double win. Like a childhood's not ruined as a result. Like you could just enjoy it. That's the shit my kids are going to be reading is Del Toro Quest, Animorphs, Del Toro Quest.
Animorphs. That's the
fact that it wasn't adapted into like a TV series.
Actually,
I can make a really good TV series.
There's a Del Toro Quest anime that is actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. No, it's actually decent. It's pretty true to the source material for the most part. It's pretty decent. It gets less. I believe it gets less accurate as it goes on, but it's pretty cool. And like how they picture some of the monsters and stuff, pretty good. Did she also do the Rowan of Rin series, Emily Rodder? I think she did, didn't she? Rowan of Rin was also hers. That was also sick. That whole journey up the mountain, like that was, and all of those books are great. Like the Rowan of Rin, I think everyone knows the first one where he travels up the mountain with the companions, and one by one they all fail, but he manages to make it to the top. The rest of that series is as good, if not better. So good. I'm gonna go read Rowan of Rin tonight and Del Toro Quest. I need to read Del Toro Quest again. She did like 5 series of Del Toro Quest, didn't she? There was like one with like dragons. There was one with like. I need to get onto this.
I think the main character gets all the gemstones and then eventually goes actually into the Darklands and like beats the bad guy.
There was like a series of like collecting like 4 or 5 something or others. Like
so it was the gemstones from the belt, and then it was you're right. And then there was like instruments or something. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to read them again. It's been a long fucking time.
I remember being like particularly sorry. This is such a tangent. But this is like
it's okay. I feel like I've set us off on this tangent. I have to deal with it.
I remember being like in my early teens, and like there were a couple of like sequences, especially with like those gray like guard creature things.
The gray guards,
Yeah, they were like really strong, and they killed one of the main characters off, and I was like, "Whoa, I'm 12. This is hectic."
So that we talked about this recently, and I think it was I can't remember if it was Avatar. We talked about this recently as well. That's Animorphs. If you've never read how Animorphs ends, like 2 of them die, 1 of them ends up with PTSD. Like they're ruined by it. Like the whole thing is like they go to war and they all like they're not the same, and like it's a terrible outcome for all of them, and they all suffer. And that's the ending of Animorphs. And it's like, pretty accurate. Pretty accurate.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was scared of swimming pools for like years.
Oh, because of the yerks. You thought like they'd be.
They call it yerk pools.
Yeah. It's funny how this stuff traumatized us, isn't it?
Cool memories, man.
It's fantastic. I need to reread. I'm gonna get Del Toro Quest tonight and reread it. Fucking awesome. Yeah, that's what my kids are gonna be reading instead of Harry Potter. I want that on the record. Like,
yeah,
they don't need to read about that shit. They're going to enjoy the good stuff. Early Eragon, not the late books, but the early books for sure. And then I'll just make up the ending for them. It's better. I'll just come up with my own ending. Yeah. Fantastic stuff, man. Oh, Artemis Fowl, that's another one. Artemis Fowl series, also great.
Oh, that's cool.
So good. So fucking good. That also aged well with the audience. Animorphs is why you hate Illithids. Yeah, for sure. Yep. 100%. Yeah. Absolutely. That was like really Animorphs was traumatizing. If you think about it for more than 2 seconds, Animorphs is it's trauma. It's trauma for children, and it's great. I'm here for it. It's like Goosebumps, but like less obvious about it. Whereas Goosebumps was like, hey kids, want to get fucked up? Like, you want to cry about your mummy? Come on, have some nightmares. Goosebumps was great, man. I love Goosebumps.
Yeah,
So
Goosebumps was
excellent.
good.
Ever watched the show? I've watched a few episodes of the Animorphs TV series, and I remember it being very CGI for like 2000s. Like I remember it, and like the practical effects were fantastic. They had a real bird for Tobias. Like they just had a hawk that was Tobias, and that was sick. But like apparently the hawk would like bite the cast members, and so there's less and less of it as it goes on because the hawk was quite like quite aggressive with the people because it's a fucking hawk.
I mean, most of those shows in the 2000s, to be fair, were pretty unhinged. So
Around
like,
the twist.
yeah.
I don't want to get us on too much more of a tangent, but I was doing a work quiz the other day, and I brought up 2 shows that no one had heard of: Mallrats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Spellbinder.
don't know
As
Spellbinder,
2.
I don't know more.
Yes. Give Spellbinder a Google and tell me if you recognize the chick that's wearing like the copper suit of armor.
Oh, as you say that, I think I have seen this. I have seen this. I've definitely seen this. This was on like ABC.
Yeah.
They like didn't they like travel through time? I've seen this for sure.
Yeah. And they power like electricity through
Yeah,
copper.
yeah.
Times.
Oh, I remember this. It is Australian children's television. Yeah. This I know.
Armor
this
looks
one.
so sick. It's like power
actually
armor
cool.
before
I'm gonna
power armor
have
was
to.
a thing.
I'm gonna make an artificer with this armor for sure. Like we're gonna see this because it's all like it's like
cool.
copper plates and like this is
Yeah.
sick. This is really sick. Cloud Giant's gonna
She
wear
wears
this.
it
As, like,
really well as well. Like it's
Yeah.
it's a beefy suit.
Yeah.
she looks good.
And she's
He pulls it off.
She
she's a
looks
skinny
scary,
lady.
but also kind of fabulous. And that's a hard line to walk. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I've ever walked that line in my life. I don't think I've ever looked either in my life. But she's pulling it off. Oh my god. We should probably get back on track. That was a good old tangent. If this was Avatar, that would have earned some people a fuckload of points for a derail. We do like a little quiz every session for who's going to derail the session. Because in Avatar it happens once a session. This is our first derail in Return of the Giants for a while. We should have. I should do that for other sessions as well. So, as the ship approaches closer and closer, the sun setting before you, you can see the ship begin to lose height, descending down towards the dark waters below. The island in front of you is a tiny speck of land, but you can see lights around what looks like an outpost set up along the coastline. This tiny little town right on the edge of the coast bordering this island. You can see the island itself is rocky and mountainous, giving way to this sort of flat, almost like a flattened bay where this town has been set up. And as the ship begins to get lower and lower, you can see that there are a number of boats docked in the harbour. It looks like a rather large number of Maloran orc ships, these outrigger rafts set up. But there's a hive of activity along the surface, along the docks. You can see people running around and moving really quickly, and it looks like people are being rushed off some of these boats, being helped or assisted, some of them even being carried. And as the ship drops down right over the water, right near one of the docks, you watch as Luz heads on over, catches all of your eyes, nods and goes, all right, I was talking to Ember. Here's the plan, right? We're going to go head to Ash Grove. Head to the Ash Grove, see who needs help. We're going to head back. Stay pretty close by, okay? We're going to be near Eidgard. If you need anything, if there's something, if you need to get back to us, you'll send a message. Otherwise, we'll stick around Eidgard for 5 days, okay? We'll be nearby if you need us. Once the volcano, if that ash stops falling, if the volcano's not erupting, we can come get you from anywhere. But while that's active, I can't risk the ship. Not that close.
No. Fair.
Okay. Good luck, guys. I know we've kind of joked around a bit, but genuinely, don't die out there. You seem like a good bunch, to be perfectly honest, and I mean, be ashamed to not get more gold off you by traveling you to places, by transporting you to places. Yeah, getting all emotional. So, yeah, don't die.
And masking it with sarcasm. It's good to see that you have some feelings. I'll
We've
grab
all
my
got
stuff and
feelings,
start heading.
mate. Some of us just have the scars on top, yeah? Alright. Good luck, you fuckers.
Likewise. Safe travels.
Yeah, we don't want to hang around here too long. It's nights,
Yeah,
I think,
we-
less likely to attract attention, but we're going to be heading back to Ocean Skies pretty quickly, yeah?
Sounds good.
Fly safe.
Thanks.
Bart would like to sort of just walk a little, whether it's ahead of the group or just fast, and just try to jog over to one of the Maloran orcs and just ask what's going on.
As soon as you drop down the rope ladder thrown over the side, the airship can't land in water. You can see the engines and these sort of mechanical parts that provide lift and thrust are underneath the ship. It doesn't look like they can get immersed in water and still be functional. So the ship's kind of hovering above the dock, and as you kind of slide down the ladder, there's still about a meter drop before you can land on the wooden planks of the dock. So as you sort of drop and land quite heavily, but some people chucking over your equipment to you. Yeah, because I mean, dropping down in your heavy armor would probably be a bit rough. But as you land, you get all your stuff down, the airship begins to slowly rise. Yeah, you can see along this pier where you guys have landed, there's a few Maloran orcs still standing near the boats. You can see that they have ash coating their faces. A number of them are slightly burned. And as you land and the airship begins to take off again, you watch as one of the Maloran orcs, pretty similar in age to you, Ember, looks to be sort of like early 30s maybe, beautiful series of tattoos, showing again a floating city that you're not familiar with over the heart, and then these spirals that form tentacles of a large squid that moves up over his shoulder, a massive harpoon in the head of it. Clearly this was a mighty sea creature that he helped to fell. You can see a number of other figures on a boat with him, and as he turns and looks at you, beginning to rush down the docks, he goes, "Well met, strangers. Your airship, I'm guessing, as it just takes off and begins to fly away. I was going to ask if you would be willing to head over closer to the coastline. Maybe you could see if anyone else needs help, but I guess not."
It wasn't really our airship. We were just hitching a ride, and they didn't really want to hang around, so...
I can't say I blame them. It is dangerous out near the volcano.
Where do you mean by the coastline? The coastline of this island?
No. This coastline is fine. We've come from the south. There's an evacuation going on. A whole bunch of us who are nearby have come to help as best as we can.
You mean the mainland? And instead, I'm going to point west.
Pointing west towards the mainland?
We're on the little island of Madrigal,
yeah,
right?
I mean, I guess, yeah, I'm using the word mainland here. Technically, with all of these islands.
Oh, yeah, so I'm talking about the Shattered Isles mainland,
the
like the eastern side of
no, much further south. Down near Hatemith. A lot of these people have come from the town near there. We needed to get them out quickly. There's a bit of an evacuation going on with all of these eruptions nearby.
Well, I mean, we didn't have plans on staying in Madrigal. We had plans of wanting to go in that direction, so we can have a look for you if you'd like. We just need transport.
I am heading back there. I am heading back there tonight after I've had a rest. I need a chance to have some water, maybe have a bit of a lie down, but I'll be heading back first thing in the morning at dawn, see who else we can rescue. I don't want to be traveling these waters at night. There is debris in the waters, stuff that has fallen from the volcano, dropped from the sky. Large rocks that float on the surface.
If you're bringing large rocks, if you're bringing people back, I'm guessing you have a sizable vessel then.
It is not too bad. As he points at one of the vessels behind him, you can see, a rather large craft. Massive single triangular sail in the very center, rising on these two pontoons. Imagine like a large flat-bottomed catamaran. So this sort of like massive flat-bottomed raft with catamaran pontoons underneath.
Like a medieval, like wooden catamaran. Sounds
Very,
fucking badass.
very Polynesian style craft. You can see the curl up of the woods at either side to help catch the waves.
I just watched Moana too, so I'm getting vibes.
There you go. Yeah, not too dissimilar at all. And you can see that there is storage underneath. It looks like that whole top section, the planks are loose. It is designed to hold things, possibly even people underneath.
Look, Bart will look back at Ember, and then back towards the orc. Extend a hand. My name's Bartholomew. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I am Mac.
Mac. Mac, I don't mean to rush you, not only for our sake, but for yours, but if we had ways of helping rejuvenate your energy, some of us here are mage inclined. Would you be willing to leave soon?
It is too dangerous to head back out tonight. The town's already evacuated. We'd be heading down towards Dogmeeken. I'm hoping that there are others there who have had a chance to go by, but I just need to make sure that I have followed up. A few of my friends have not made it back either. A number of us took rafts out. Want to make sure they are safe.
Probably at this point, Niles comes.
Yeah, all of you are
say,
coming down the ladder at this point.
Oh, we're coming down.
You're all there. Yeah.
What about Gobridge? Have you heard anything about Gobridge?
I haven't gone that far south. Losing the accent now. I haven't gone that far south. It's too close to the volcano. Been keeping my distance as best I can. My husband and I were not willing to go too close.
Makes sense.
Do you know how far the poisonous smoke or anything sort of spread? Or if it has sort of, sort of a widespread, is it mostly sort of contained around the volcanic area? Like,
I don't know much about poison smoke, but the ash, it chokes the lungs. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it's
yeah, the wind changed
a while back, but yeah.
Yeah, it was when the wind changed. Originally it was easterly. Suited us just fine blowing it out, but it has changed and now it is blowing from the south. I took a lungful myself, more than one. Feels like glass in my throat.
Can I just do maybe a quick cure wounds, like just sort of like, hey, let me just see if I can do something about that, and just sort of put a hand on the chest, like sort of, around sort of the throat, and it's just sort of a first level one, like, but just a sort of, oh, fuck's sake.
6 is not bad. You watch as he kind of coughs up a bit of blood as these tiny...
1 and a 1.
That's unfortunate. As he coughs up a bit of blood, you watch as mixing amongst this blood is this dark, like ash-like substance. And as he sort of coughs it up and then... Oh, your magic is strong. That feels better.
You and your crew, you're probably going to need another round, but for now, yeah.
We've got a shaman back at the city who can do that. We will be okay for a day or two. We knew what we were getting ourselves into. This isn't the first evacuation we've done with these volcanoes.
Why do you say that it'll be more dangerous at night? Just because obviously it'll be difficult to see where the ship is going?
There's crap in the water, stuff that has been blown, massive rocks that float on the surface, some sort of porous material. Perfect. It is hard to see at night. Lurks under the surface, but it is sharp in places. There are like purple crystals embedded in it that crack and break the wood.
I'm sorry, you said that this isn't your first volcanic evacuation. Has this occurred before?
Oh, many years ago. When we were over near Balmia. There was a volcano between Balmia and Chiari that erupted. It was very close to our floating city at the time. We had to band together and pray to Melora for protection. She granted it. Praise be.
Looking at the party instead, a slightly lower voice. I know we're standing right next to him, but trying to keep some privacy for a moment. I don't know what our plan is, but if we are going to stay, I guess, overnight and head with Mac, unless we wanted to find more sooner transportation. I'm worried about Ember's family. If we are planning on staying here, I wouldn't mind going with Niles and having a quick scout across the ocean tops towards that coastline. He mentioned some of his friends are lost.
mean, I didn't think of this till now, but I do have the drift globe. That might give enough light potentially to see ahead of where we are.
You have a drift globe. One of Melora's lights. That is
Would that allow us to travel through the water now?
That is a mighty gift. If you are comfortable mounting it on top of the mast, that will allow me to see. Especially if we have you lot acting as spotters on the front. My husband has keen eyes. I will get him as well.
We would have to be careful, though. Traveling at night with such a large beacon, it would help us navigate, but there may be those in the waters here that might prey on us.
The good news is this stretch of water here, I have fished many times as we have come through whenever our city has floated past. There is, in my experience, not much too dangerous here. We used to use a drift globe to draw squid during the night to fish.
Yes.
I look at the tattoo. I see.
Oh, this beastie was a wee bit bigger. Not quite what we took out last time, but we do not go fishing for rikahu, what you call kraken.
Why?
Just to play the advocate, I don't know about you guys, but it has been a pretty long day so far, with, but you literally regrew some wings, but I'm just thinking, would we maybe...
He literally regrew some wings. Your magic is very powerful.
Not my
I feel
magic.
a lot safer if we are traveling with a lady who can regrow wings.
No, I wish that might have a connection if you need someone, but I'm just thinking, would we be more useful to people after a bit of a sleep? I mean how long can we keep running for? I'm thinking we'll hit heat wave, and there's gonna be people that need help, and we're all gonna be kind of fucked.
How long is the travel by ocean to Heatmave?
The wind is against us, unfortunately, because it is blowing from the south. 5 or 6 hours, if we are quick, which we will not be at night, maybe longer.
And that's with needing everyone as spotters for debris.
That's with people taking turns as spotters, and this is not a job where you can just take it easy. You will have to be very much on the attention. Make sure that we do not run into anything in the ocean.
I just took like a 4-hour nip on the boat on the way here. I turned Canadian for a second. I don't know why.
On the boot.
On the boot.
On the boot.
Yeah, and I see pretty well in the dark. So I could take a longer shift at the start while you guys get some rest, if that helps.
I get it, Dave. Given that Canada is about to become our second closest ally after New Zealand, I think there's no problem with you switching between those two accents. If anything, I think it's a great honor.
Brownie points.
It's a great honor.
It's great.
Our Canadian brothers and sisters, I want to say welcome. It's lovely to have you as our new best friends.
I agree with Harry wholeheartedly. The way that I see this, Mac's friends, the people on that coastline, Ember's family, we didn't sleep and take time resting when Harry was in danger with the drow.
That's a good point. And
If we had it
Lyra,
under control, I was never in danger.
it does sound like, Lyra, if you do need to take a bit more of a longer rest, you should be able to do so in the cabin, while the rest of us keep watch.
Well, I'm just thinking more. I'm fine after with just 4 hours of downtime, but you guys need kind of the solid 8.
Oh no, I'm feeling quite good, quite chipper.
So as long as you keep an eye on it, that exhaustion, it kind of sneaks up on you. But if you think you're right to keep going, I'm definitely down for it.
Ember?
I would like to go. I do need a little bit of rest, but I should be good to go. I want to get there as quickly as possible.
Obviously, the airship across the water took probably about, when we left the mainland, about 2 hours. According to the map that we've been given, Mac, it's a bit longer of a distance to Heatmave, and then we're traveling by boat and traveling slower. What would you say is the probably ETA of a trip like that?
That's what I was saying before. Good wind conditions during the day, 5 or 6 hours. We have the opposite. Nighttime even slower, and with a wind against us. It is hard to say. Depends on how strong the wind is. We are going to be having to tack in and out of the wind to try and go against it, unless you have some way of manipulating the weather.
Not available to me. But that might be a good thing. That we'll give it. We're a sizable group. We can probably afford to have some of us doing full sleeping shifts.
Look, I feel for the people down here, and I would like to make sure that my friends are okay. I was needing to take a rest, but with your magic, my throat feels better. I'm willing to go back out, but I will need to sleep, and my husband will need to sleep as well. We will need to take shifts, and at least one of us will need to be on the tiller. I will be trusting you to be on lookout in batches or in shifts. We will need to be very, very careful if we are traveling across the waves at this time.
Your friends, do you recall where they were at all? Are they close by, or?
We all split up on our different boats when we got close. Most of them, I believe, were headed to Gobreach. My partner and I, we decided to head to the north to try and get the people from Heatmeave. There are a number of us.
I take a look at Bard. I don't think we'd be able to get there even at night. To fly to see if their friends are here. We may be better just to stay with the boat and keep an eye out while we travel further south then.
Well, no, I agree. If the boat's my thought was if the boat was staying here, that you and me at least maybe half an hour's distance from where we are now. But if we're traveling, there's no need for that.
Of course. Well, if we're all agreed then, it sounds like we'll head off and we can use that. Sorry,
you can trust us. By the way, I know that a bunch of strangers on your boat with you and your husband. I don't know what you've heard about most of the news around the world. We're from the Tempest Guild.
I could tell you we're an adventuring guild. Oh, thank you for the card. I could tell you we're an adventuring guild. Nobody else arrives in a town at the dead of night near an erupting volcano and asks, "How do we get closer?" Eh? It was pretty clear that you were with some sort of guild. And to be perfectly honest, at this point, I trust you. We want to help. That's all we need to do. We are all friends on the waves, yeah?
Look, just the pessimism in Bart, always wanting to be prepared for the worst. He's not good at it, but he's just going to do an insight check, make sure that Mac's not some pirate that we need to keep an eye out for.
It's fair.
While you do that, Harry would like to check that we're not some pirates that he needs to be aware.
So while Bart does an insight, Harry does like a self-assessment. Like he doesn't like his
17, despite my
17.
negative one.
Yeah, I mean, Mac does seem like the very typical Maloran orc. Very affable, very direct and to the point. I mean, he seems very much like the Maloran orcs you would have interacted with, or that. I mean, in some ways, he's quite a stereotypical example of the Maloran orcs. He's from one of the floating cities, which means that he's likely a devotee of Melora. You've heard him reference Melora and say praise be to her. This is definitely there are Maloran orc pirates for sure. Those that have turned their backs on Melora or turned their backs on their floating city and have been outcast. He definitely isn't one. The tattoo on his chest immediately reveals that he isn't one. Harry.
If they turn their back to Melora, are they still Meloran orcs?
They are still Maloran orcs because they're people. So the Maloran orcs, there were basically one race of orcs originally on Nostea. Those that followed Grumush, and those like the Grumush was kind of one of the betrayer gods. Orcs that turned their back on Grumush and instead chose to follow Melora, over time have taken on more kind of elvish features in a way. They've become a bit more elven looking. The tusks have retreated a little bit. The ears have become more pointed. Their lives have extended a little bit by following Melora. As a result, they're often called Maloran orcs, but often just called orcs. It's one of those things where like their exposure to Melora and her magic has changed them over time from the typical,
like an evolution. So even if they turn away, it's still part of it.
Exactly.
Well, it would almost be though if they I wonder if they turned their back on Melora long enough and worshipped Grumush again, whether or not they would revert back
over generations. Yeah, they would. Yeah,
over hundreds of years. Yeah,
over generations. I am going, because I am an insanely nice DM and chat are highlighting this. Jay would like to point out that you literally have a jar of wind Bart that you picked up in Salazar's Emporium.
I remembered that.
Okay.
What's it in this reference though? So my plan was if the ship was going to start falling to like use that, or if we need a burst of air. But is there something that Jay knows that I don't?
You don't know how it works chat don't know how it works. The assumption is that it's similar to the bag of wind from Odysseus, from the Tale of Odysseus from the Odyssey. But again, like that's an assumption.
So if we do need to escape a Poseidon, I'll be ready.
Yeah, and you also bought it from like a thrift shop, essentially. So you have no idea.
The good news
what this is,
you'll
right?
have forewarning Poseidons coming because you hear the full chorus start going, Poseidon, Poseidon, as he rises from the waves. And then you'll hear him go, in all my years. It's just start quoting epic.
Musical. I'm glad that you know that.
Says mercy. Yeah. So you'll know when Poseidon's coming. There'll be an obvious musical cue.
Okay, well, look, holding my shield in one hand that has around the armband of it my symbol of Melora that Lyra gave me. Okay.
He's noticed that too. Yeah, don't worry. He's clocked that bar. As you kind of shift it, you watch. He gives you a nod, touches a symbol around his neck as well. Not a trinket, a tattoo. The tattoo of that kind of branching tree around his neck.
You mentioned, actually, look, before we do go, I haven't used this yet. I read the tutorial in a tattoo book. A lot of the people that you've just brought, and I'm going to see, I guess, the civilians hopping off of some of the boats and heading down some sort of a road or path to the village.
Most of them are already gone by the time you guys land, but you can see they're headed to the village beyond. The boat nearest to you, there's not people hopping off. There are bodies being carried, some of them coughing. You can see some of them badly burned, being carried by some of the other Meloran orcs.
Perfect. A good thing in this moment. Okay, I think we've got a deal then. In the meantime, let us know how we can help. I'll see if I can help with this.
Supplies, anything that you might need on the journey, make sure you've got it. Fuck, I've lost the voice again. Let me try that again. Supplies. Anything you think we might need once we take off, make sure that you've got it on the boat. Once we go, there won't be any turning back. There might be a while before we're able to make a landfall again.
I'll give a nod. I'm going to head over to the injured people.
I think if we can maybe look at getting some, I'm not sure if there's some kind of masks or like, sort of for the particulates from the volcano, the other gases that come out of it. At the very least, maybe a couple of layers of cloth. I mean, it's better than nothing, but...
if you head to there is a merchant store in town just near the tavern. They should still be open. Anything you might need, you can get from there. I will warn you, though, their prices are often higher than what you would get on the mainland.
Do you have enough rations for us if we are to accompany you on this journey, or should we supply our own?
It would be best if you could get your own. We've got some rations, but we've used a lot of them trying to feed some people on the journey back. I have not yet had a chance to restock. We did not bring much gold with us when we came. We needed to travel light.
I'll look over at Lyra and nod that as like a clock.
We're getting extras, to restock them and all that.
I'll be here, strangers.
Right.
I won't go too far from the boat. Get your stuff. When my husband returns, I will let him know what we are doing. He still may want to veto this, but I am on board. I think we need to do this. If we can get there and help more people, it is the way that we help ourselves, Yacht.
Of course.
It's the way of the wilds. You help those in need. Those in need will help you when you are in need.
All right. We'll be back. If there's anything else that you guys might need, any supplies or anything that you think would be handy,
we are good. Fresh water.
We can cover it.
Fresh water. Water is hard to get. If you can make sure that you have a good supply.
I've got that covered. I can. I've got that covered.
Oh, so do I.
You are
very covered as well.
Very powerful mage. Losing the voice again. Fuck, keep losing the voice. It's because Scottish is so fucking persistent whenever it gets in my head. You lot are powerful mages. You can make water from nothing.
No, just a convenient item that fell into my lap a long time ago. Just let us know if there is anything else that we can get to help out.
Fresh water. Fresh water is the most useful thing you can have. It is good for burns. Fresh water is good. Good to drink. Good for burns. Yes, that's all you need.
Pull out the alchemy jug. I think I should be okay. Shake it around.
The lot of corks in that jug there. You need so many spouts and corks?
Yes, well, fresh water is one of them. Will 8 gallons be enough?
8 gallons is good. I can get thirsty in the mornings, but not that thirsty. Go. Get your things. I will not go far from the boat. We will be here when you get back. My husband should have returned by then. We will take off as soon as you are ready. Well met, strangers. Tempest Guild. Well met.
Likewise.
Lyra, by the way. Forgetting that haven't introduced.
Mac, to my friends.
Niles.
And we face danger together. That makes us friends. So Mac is good.
Very
Rest
good.
up while you can.
I feel better. Your magic has cleared my lungs. With a clear goal in mind, I feel focused. I'll get the boat ready. Need to change the sail, but not much else is needed to get this ready to go. We'll be ready. I will be ready in half an hour, 45 minutes most.
All right. Well, we'll meet back then.
Safe travels. See you soon.
Yeah, I think I go off in the direction of that merchant.
I'll probably follow Lyra at this point.
So Lyra Niles.
Probably as we're going, maybe I don't know the geography of this, but maybe as we're heading.
Imagine a half moon bay. The land beyond, very slow, gradual incline, nestled into the foothills of an enormous mountain rising behind it that makes up the bulk of this island.
Cool. I'm imagining the islands that are in Barbados, like in the parts of the Caribbean, how they're like these tiny little settlements. Cool.
I mean, and you can even see around the edge a coral atoll. It looks like there is indeed a partial sand arc with coral all around it. Yeah, this is very much a tropical.
So it's
island.
not far. It's not far. It's if I wanted to go to Bart on our way to the merchant, I could just be like.
We're talking 10 minutes walk from the docks to the merchant.
Super easy then.
Super
I can do
close.
a detour there.
And I mean, there's maybe 40 buildings on this island total. It's not big. It's not big. The town of Mudra is not huge.
Cool. I'll probably make a point to follow Lyra to the merchant, but I will detour slightly to get to Bart, and then just continue back with Lyra.
Okay. So Lyra and Niles, merchant, Harry.
Yeah, guys, I'll stay here and just keep an eye out and keep watch, make sure that nothing happens. So Harry's just gonna.
Did you
I'm
want
definitely
anything
not
from town?
gonna rob them.
Did you
Not just some food, water. I'm pretty
Carrots.
good.
I'm assuming carrots.
Do they actually have carrots? I thought they'd be really struggling. If there's carrots, yeah.
We can ask. I'm sure.
Wait, carrots?
Orange-colored fish.
Cabbages.
This is the carrot fish. The long spindly fish.
But yeah, Harry will set up in a stealthful place nearby, the trees, anywhere that he can climb up and just sit in the dark and watch and just make sure nothing sus.
So you're watching out towards the sea?
To the sea and also map
happening on the
and the
docks.
boat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Could I get a stealth
keep an eye
and
out
a
for them.
perception check, please, Harry? Ember, are you going with
Since
Lyra
I have-
and Niles? Oh, yeah?
Vision and darkness. Can I have advantage in that?
I will take that into
perception?
account for your DC. I will include that
Okay,
into the DC. Ember, where would you like to go? Do you want to stick with Lyra and Niles for the merchant? Did you want to go check the burn victims? Did you want to head somewhere else? What's your thinking? You're muted, sorry, Simon.
You muted, son.
Knowing that I'll get a rest on the ship, yep, I think I probably would go check the burn bit to see if I can do anything to help there. And I'd also like to see, because obviously I know a few people from my clan are on the other side. There's a couple of them that I think may have wanted to venture across. There's one in particular that I think of that would maybe want to come just to see if they've seen any Firbolgs around the Isles recently.
Yeah, for sure. And Bart, where are you headed?
Well, to save Ember the hassle of having to heal people, and you can focus solely on finding information out, Bart is going to head to all of the boats that have all the injured people that are being taken out one by one, and is going to attempt to heal all of them in a second.
Okay.
All of them.
There's a lot of people being taken over towards what looks like a large community hall. There's no walls on this building. It looks like it's mostly pillars holding atop this grass roof. 30 meters by 40 meters. So big open building. Looks like some sort of community hall or town hall in the very heart of this town. And you can see people are being laid out inside it. It looks like it's become kind of like this recovery zone for people. And you can see there are other people moving around. A few Meloran orcs, clearly devotees of Melora, providing magical assistance, as well as a number of humans and a couple of halflings who are traveling around providing more mundane help, more medical aid. But as you step into this area, there are maybe 60, 65 people just in this room alone who've been evacuated by the Maloran orcs. It's an impressive number of people. As you look back out, not that many rafts. They have taken every single person they can and brought them here. It is an impressive feat. And I mean, there's a range of injuries here, from the very mild smoke inhalation, red stinging eyes, to severe burns. People who are...
You said around 60 to 70?
60 to 65, 70 people, yeah.
Perfect. That's still within calculations. Bart is going to try to find whoever is, I guess, heading up this healing, to use some persuasive skills to hopefully get all of those that are able to try to move the injured into a formation.
Okay. Let's do... Actually, I'm going to save that for next week. There is... Because I've realized what time we are. I want to finish on a bit of a cliffhanger tonight, because I'm a bastard. Ember. Oh, actually, let's do Harry's roll first, and then let's jump in with Ember. Harry, your roll 24 for stealth, 14 for perception. Harry, you vanish into the shadows. Instantly, you disappear. Like now in Assassin's Creed Shadows, you drop down to all fours, crawl across, disappear. Climbing up a nearby palm tree, making your way to the top, you look around very carefully, keeping a note of everyone who's coming and going. For the most part, the excitement at the docks is starting to die down. You can see people are making their way towards this massive community hall. A lot of the Maloran orcs seem to be making their way to the taverns. A number of them are clustered around the well in the very center of town and are washing themselves, washing the ash off, drinking this fresh water as quickly as they can. A few of them sort of coughing and spluttering and wheezing, looking pretty much worse for wear. As you watch Macui, or Mac, as he introduced himself to you, you can see checks over the sails, checks over the boat. You can see that he does actually change the sail, rolling it up and placing it inside the boat underneath one of those boards, pulling out another sail that he immediately ties off this very sort of arched triangular sail that rises all the way up the mast. And you see him climb up the mast very quickly and very deftly. No handholds or anything like that. He just pulls out a rope from his pocket, whips it around, and then uses it to ascend the mast very, very quickly. And as he gets to the top, he's got fish hooks for toes, 100%. As he gets to the top, ties off the sail, comes back down again. You can see him go and check some supplies, and then you see him kind of waiting around impatiently. A few moments later, you watch as another orc begins to walk down towards the docks towards him. Mac immediately rushes over and pulls this orc into a close hug. You watch as they share a moment, pressing their foreheads together, eyes closed, hands on each other's cheeks for about a minute or so. And then they both together head back towards the boat. They begin to talk. You can't quite hear their conversation from where you are, but you can see there's a bit of a discussion, a very brief argument. And then the newcomer orc kind of slumps, nods, and then they hug again, and then go back to getting the boat ready. You can see the newcomer begins to change out of their clothes, dives over the boat, has a bit of a swim around for a moment, floating in the dark water before climbing back aboard, changing into a new like tatama, this new kind of like folded over robe-like cloth. The artwork that we have for your character, Blood, Matt, is what I'm sort of referring to here. Very similar, sort of like half robe hanging off the shoulders. And then not much else kind of happens with Mac. Are there any other areas you want to keep an eye on or watch? You're muted, sorry, Dave.
Are there other people watching them, or are there like anything sus happening in the dock, or is that just
nothing sort of watching them? You can't see any obvious people watching them or keeping an eye on them. In terms of sus things happening on the dock, you don't spy anything too overtly suspicious occurring. You do see, though, as you make your way towards this tree and climb up, you can see scratched into one of the wooden posts, just on the very edge of this pontoon, the edge of this pier that you've walked down, there is a symbol that you recognize, and the Thieves Guild symbol and the Thieves' Cant symbol. denoting that there is a safe house on this island, a place where you might be able to drop off goods or lay low for a while if you needed to.
Okay. Yep. No. Is it? Does it say like? Does it point a direction? Is it nearby? Is it
no, but
underground?
you know that you just have to go looking for the symbol, and like as I said, it's like 40 buildings, like 3 streets. Take you maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like, and you know what you're looking for. It's pretty quick.
Harry takes a mental note and intends to tell the party that there's a place nearby on the island if we ever need to stay. He's not going to call it a safe house. He's going to say it's just a shared merchant's respite.
Perfect.
Thanks, place.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a counting house where the merchants go and count all their money. A smoking room.
And joke about poor people.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I like how I'm trying not to do the East India Trading Company with the Oxenfurt merchants, but there's nothing you can do. It always becomes that in any setting. Like I'm trying my best to kind of lead away from it, but like it's inevitable that eventually it ends up with a bunch of like colonizers sitting in a room smoking cigars going, I just made 40 million off slavery. It's just inevitable, unfortunately. Ember.
Yeah.
As Lyra and Niles, the 3 of you move up the docks together, Lyra and Niles then taking off heading towards the merchant's building. Ember, as you begin sort of looking around, keeping an eye out, you do spot another Firbolg. Pretty quickly. You're 6'4". This Firbolg's about 6 foot. How tall are you? You're like 7 foot, aren't you? You're fucking huge.
Yeah, I'm roughly 7 foot.
Yeah,
so...
yeah, that's it.
Never actually measured myself, but yeah.
He's a Firbolg.
Big guy.
Stand out. This Firbolg is also pretty tall, about as tall as you, and very quickly you recognize this Firbolg not just for their height, but also for their attire. This is a Firbolg of the Ash Grove, for sure. Immediately you can recognize it. The same red and white symbol on the chest, the leathered armors, as well as the feather motifs as well that have been harvested from the nearby gulls that nest on the cliffs overlooking the Ash Grove, the ash gulls, which is what gives the Ash Grove its name. These like ash and grey feathers with speckles of black through them. You immediately spot this Firbolg. It takes you a second to recognize them because it's been a long time since you've seen this figure before. But you realize that you do indeed know this person. And as you approach, not really sure what they're doing here or why they're here, you watch as they slowly turn, spot you, massive beaming grin. You can see that they have a new scar down the side of their face, a burn mark down the side of their face. The beards that they were once proud of kind of burned away in this spot, the hair no longer growing over that scar tissue, but a full beard on the left-hand side of the face that kind of pushes away at this spot here. Golden nose ring through the middle of their septum and the nose. And as they turn towards you, you recognize this Firbolg.
Fantastic. Well,
Ember! As he grabs you and pulls you into a hug, you recognize this is Ikai.
Ikai. Perfect. Ikai. Ikai. How are you? I mean, this it looks like you've been stuck in the fires.
Fire's kiss, hey? yeah, look, it smarts still occasionally, and a bit embarrassing how I got it, but it's good to see you, Ember. It's been a while. You've been traveling on your challenge, eh?
I have been. I mean, we all have to do it.
I still have not finished mine. Still a way to go.
No, that's fair. How long have you been here for? Have you been here the whole time this has been going on? With the volcano?
Oh, no, I've only been in Madria about an hour. I was, wrong place, right time, I guess. I was at Heatmeath. I'd heard of a challenger. Thought I'd go and try and find them. Water spirits kind of user. Didn't find them, but figured I'd help out. Got this in return. Used all my magic to heal it, but as you can see, how bad is it? I haven't seen a mirror yet. Just reflected in the water.
Oh, that's okay. Your other side was always your good side anyway, so I don't think it matters too much. it'll look better. It'll look better. Be fine.
Good.
Are you looking to head to the volcano as well, or are you heading back to
Fuck that.
the Ash Grove?
I'm heading back to the Ash Grove. I've done my part. I haven't finished my challenge yet. I know it's not frowned upon, but it is seen as a sign of a bit of a weakness, heading home for a rest in between. But I've been gone for 3 years. I think I need a break. Still got 4 more to go.
That's understandable. Since you've been in the Isles for a while, from the sounds of it, have you seen any Have you seen any giants? Anything? I mean, between you and I, I've seen a few things recently, and there may be a giant in the area. I mean, have you seen anything like that while you've been here?
You watch as Ikai's face falls immediately. Ikai never was known for having a good poker face, Ember. It's full display right now. You watch as he kind of like goes a bit pale. How did you know about the giants, Ember?
I'm gonna look side to side, see if anyone else is looking at us.
There are still a few people around the docks. Ikai sort of notices you watching, nods, gestures with his head. You begin sort of walking away down towards the beach, where it is much more isolated. Yeah.
As we're walking, we've had some interactions with some giants, and I myself have even had some interactions, and I'll show him the gem in my hand as we're walking.
Does that must hurt, Ember? It's embedded in your hand.
It doesn't hurt. It does act a little funny sometimes, but it's kind of changed what I've been doing recently. I'm more on a path to help this and the rest of my, well, not my new clan, but my additional clan. So any kind of giant information that you have would be very much appreciated.
Yeah. I did see a giant, Ember. Fire giant. Beard, hair of flame. At first I thought it was, I must confess, I thought it was some fire spirit. I didn't see the full body. I was traveling near the volcano for training. I saw him.
Did he leave the area as far as you're aware? What was he doing when he was here?
Yeah, I saw him up near the caldera, the flames emerging at first from the top of the volcano, and I thought, perhaps there's some fire spirit that I could tame, add to my collection. So I began to climb, and I watched as this enormous figure, taller. Look, I'm not used to being short, yeah? None of us are, Firbolgs. This giant was huge. I mean, the name, yeah, but yeah. Very, very tall. This figure, he stood on the edge of the volcano. I watched as he reached down and pulled on these chains, lifting something from inside, Ember, and it rose. I could see glint of metal. And then the giant vanished, a pillar of flame appearing at the bottom of the volcano. Well, at this point, I must admit, I was a bit scared, so I climbed back into my boat, began to row away. That's when the volcano erupted. That's how I was able to pull Spark out in time, and he took a bit of the brunt of it for me.
And how long ago was this? Was this days?
2
weeks?
days.
How long?
2 days.
2 days. Okay.
Yesterday morning, yeah.
You can head back to the home. Please make sure everyone's okay. Let them know that I'm here. If anyone wants to join, they are welcome. But I think we need to kind of figure out what's happening.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Ember. Yes. I must say, Flicker's looking well. Looking much better than last I saw.
I know, right? He's getting quite large now. I know he's probably not. Well, you've been traveling for probably just as long, if not longer, than I have.
I think I left a year before you, didn't I?
Yeah, exactly. So he's getting there. Not quite as good as Spark seems. But,
well, you watch as he reaches up, grabs hold of the yellow and black gemstone around. Actually, I'm going to say that his is on like on a little bracer on his arm. You watch as he touches the yellow and black gemstone, and you watch as the flames begin to coalesce and pull out, forming this almost like a lizard-like fire spirit. You can see that it has like a mane of fire. like a frill neck lizard around its neck, partly bipedal. You can see a long tail ridged with flame. But interestingly, Ember, it's not that much bigger than when you last saw Spark. You recognize Spark. The Spark sort of looks up at you. A long tongue of flame shoots out, very much like a snake's tasting the air, as these keen orange eyes catch yours. And then you watch as Spark looks up at Flicker. Flicker then sort of takes flight, landing down next to Spark, and you see them sort of sniffing each other before Spark sort of moves back and cowers behind Ikai. A bit scared of Flicker almost. As Flicker sort of preens for a moment and then flaps back up onto your shoulders.
I mean, it does look like Flicker may have grown a little bit more, but I'm sure Spark will get there eventually too.
I hope so. How many challenges have you defeated so far, Ember? You and Flicker together are...
I mean, officially, unofficially, I've kind of been on a bit of a different path at the moment, so...
Whatever this path is, this training, I think, has done you well, Ember. Flicker looks powerful. I mean, if you happen to come across this water spirit tamer, I think you could really give them a run for their money.
I will. I'll keep that in mind. I may be able to extinguish this man or this person while I'm here.
Woman, I think. But yeah, good luck.
No, thank you. Look, I will let you go. We need to probably move on. But if you want to help with any of the injured before you head off, that would be appreciated as well.
I'm tapped. I've got no magic left. I used up everything I had to get people here and keep them alive on the journey. It was tough. Not gonna lie. We lost one. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We did all we could.
All right. Well, look, you head back home. You make sure everything's okay. Let them know I'm here, and that I'll be potentially coming as well to assist.
Yeah. You stay safe out there, Ember.
You too.
We can a little battle, you and I, later, eh? Not now.
Oh, sounds good to
You'd
me.
Win. You'd kick my
right
ass.
Now.
You'd kick my ass right now. maybe later once this is all over, eh?
Sounds good. I'll hold you to that.
Which is, Ikai places a hand on your shoulder, looks you in the eyes. In this case, not challenging you to a battle, just catching your gaze before giving you a nod, whistling to Spark, who climbs up onto his shoulder, giving one last look towards Flicker. Again, there's that not fear per se, but something similar, an emotion similar to that. And as you kind of notice that and look back at Flicker, there's a sense of pride and disdain from Flicker looking at Spark. Yeah.
Not a fan.
No, and an emotion that you're not used to from Flicker. Yeah.
I mean, I'd take that in, but I think it'd also now be a bit too distracted. I want to now go help the rest of those people and see what they're doing. I'll address this change in Flicker when I see them again, I guess.
Yeah, perfect. I think with that, as you make your way over and join Bart with the healing, Lyra and Niles will save your journey into the merchant's store for next week.
Absolutely.
To save a bit of time, Bart, what was your plan with the healing? That's a roleplay. We can talk it through if you like. What's your plan?
To keep it simple, some persuasion checks with whoever's in charge here, just to convince them that I'm here to help.
It's
symbol of Melora showing
everyone
them.
Here is here to help, so it's not a hard persuasion check.
Yeah, mentioning, showing the symbol of Melora, mentioning Makai's full name, just Maqui's full name,
and all the Queen's eyes like Makai. Makai.
And want to get basically them to organize everyone into roughly like beds back to back of a 10-foot line, and fitting the roughly 60 to 70 people. That would go around 60 to. So no, that'd go probably around like 30 to 40 feet. 5, 5, 5, 5. Yes. Every 5 feet, just another bed of people.
Yeah.
From that, I wanted to use my Paladin's tattoo for the very first time. with a sort of collection of learning a bit more about how to control my chi and energy and whatever's happened during my childhood with my father and Alphonse and our training. The tattoo, I'm assuming, is sort of helping tap into that same energy. It's helping channel it better. So a large glob of light is going to glow up my stomach through the feathers. It's going to then light up all sections of the feathers in the tattoo's design and flash with light. And then a glob of light is going to come out of my throat and sort of float in front of me for half a second. And then with a gust of my wings, I'm going to then blow that 10 feet wide, 60 feet in a straight line.
Regurgitation magic. I love it.
As you cough up your healing pellets.
Kind of bird-like.
Cough up your healing pellet.
So yeah, this is the mend of the Paladin's tattoo. As an action, you speak it, and it says a beam of light, but I wanted to flavor it for a sort of bird chucking up, and then
we
this
really
healing wind
tonight,
going across. But this healing wind is going to rush across them, which I worked it out and has the ability to technically heal 120 creatures because it's 60 feet long, 10 feet wide. So 60 to 70 people is more than within capabilities of this. I'd only have a certain amount of charges, but this is the perfect moment to try to help this village and get the bang for my buck. They're all going to get 2d8, so a cure wounds for every single person.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Rather than rolling for all of them, just roll 2d8. We'll take a fair. That'll be
I figured it.
Yeah, no, actually, I want you to roll
14.
14's not bad. As this
14 for everyone.
As this wave of light shines from your globule, I believe you described it as, the symbol of Melora flashes for a moment as well, Bart. And you watch as this light shines across the people there, many of whom are Meloran orcs as well, who've taken damage trying to help the people of the villages nearby to the volcano. As the light shines across, you suddenly feel this presence standing next to you. This otherworldly kind of feeling, the feathers on the back of your neck raise, almost like there's static electricity, that sense of pressure before a thunderstorm hits. And as you turn, you see this, just for a moment, illuminated in the flash of lightning from the ash clouds to the south. A figure, a woman, outline of her standing next to you. Her hair is wild. You can see twigs matted in, feathers tied in around. She looks slightly elvish. Face paint down around her eyes, roughly and crudely drawn. Wearing layered furs, antlers growing from her head. Just for a moment you see this flash. You watch as this figure, the outline, nods. And you hear a voice. For a moment you think you hear this voice echoed in the thunder from above. I see you, Bartholomew. That is where we're going to wrap up for tonight.
Fuck yeah.
This is a moment where you have, using your holy symbol of Melora, performed an act of service to followers of hers and in service of her tenants. You have drawn the attention of Melora in this moment, Bartholomew.
Fuck yeah.
Sweet. Wasn't intended, but a nice, I guess, side effect. But yeah, wanting to just help as many of these, I guess, refugees now as possible.
Yeah, I think that is a good place to wrap up for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We will see you all in the next episode, which will be next Wednesday. There's nothing Easterish Wednesday, is there, next week? Is there? No. Cool.
No.
I can't. I need to. I'm gonna be honest. I need to look at a fucking calendar. I will see you all next Wednesday for more Return of the Giants. We will see you all next Wednesday for Return of the Giants. Curse of Strahd on Monday, Avatar Legends on Tuesday, and other various fun things in between that I will post in the Discord with a bit more of a schedule for next week as we move into the next week. I know people have requested Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Of course we're going to play Hello Kitty Island Adventure. There will be a stream of that. I'm going to do a 5-hour stream of Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Of course I fucking am. Will I be drinking copiously during it? Of course I will. That's how you best enjoy Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I'm thinking I might make like a special cocktail that's like bright pink for that. I reckon that's the only way to effectively enjoy Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Absolutely.
Keep you guys posted when that's going to be, but we've got to have some fun with that, right? For those of you watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast, thank you so much. Remember to, if you're on the podcast, leave a review or a comment or something like that. I know it does help with engagement, and sometimes you can leave the equivalent of likes. On YouTube, it's super simple. If you want to attract the attention of Melora and be told that she sees you, the best way to do it, like, comment, and subscribe. If you do all three, how can you not draw the attention of a goddess? Or in this case, me. Same thing, same diff. So we will see you all in the next episode. Those of you watching on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We are going to go and raid a lovely friend of the channel. Tonight, that is going to be not one of our usual friends. Our usual people aren't playing tonight. Let's see. We could go do Vacuta. We have jumped on them a few times before. I was going to see if there's anyone else doing some D&Ds. Who else is doing some D&Ds tonight? Looks like Dice Actors is doing D&D. Could jump on Vacuta. Let's go jump on... Oh, these guys are playing Pathfinder. They've got one viewer. Let's go give them some love. Magic Fingers. That's a great name. That's actually quite a good name. We're gonna go raid Magic Fingers.
Harry on the weekend.
Cool.
It's not spelt how you think it's spelt. I just want that on record. However you think it's spelt, it's not spelt.
Is it spelled with a Y?
It's spelled MAJYKFNGRZ, which is why it took me a second to figure out that it was Magic Fingers. We're gonna go and raid them. Let me load that up. But thank you so much, everybody. We will see you all again very, very soon. Until then, stay safe, stay well. See you all next time. Goodbye, everybody. Farewell.
Bye.
Bye.